That's if she remembers what she's supposed to do, and that's doubtful, as you well know, because she doesn't know how many times she fainted. There was a UAC in the 1950s, and it's a dirty word of the most dirty of words, the House of Un-American Activities Committee, which was run by one of the great American patriots, Senator McCarthy. He has been completely decimated by the left. McCarthy was a tail gunner in World War II, one of the most dangerous positions you could ever have in an airplane. Right? Belly gunner, B-24.
Easiest target was the tail. That's what they attacked.
Listen what the left did to him. They mocked him and called him Tail Gunner Joe. In other words, they took his heroism and tried to turn it into a mockery. That was in the 50s, Alex, to show you who they were already, the communists. So what was McCarthy saying, this great war hero? He was saying that Hollywood had been infiltrated by communists. The journalists have been infiltrated by communists. Academia had been infiltrated by communists. And the government itself. Well, what happened was they had the hearings. They ruined him. They destroyed the man. And then what happened in the 1990s, I'm sure you remember the book, the Venona Papers came out. It was a Soviet-Russian publication.
Turned out it was all true. The Russian documents came out. It was worse than what McCarthy was saying.
Worse. It confirmed who in Hollywood, who in academia, who in government was, in fact, an operative of the Soviet Union. So there were subversives. UAC was exactly on target. I say the only way we can save this nation is not talking about it, but by rooting out the subversives in the United States of America.
All right, before I get into the wet work article, there's two ways to see it. They're clearly talking about, I didn't know, pool parties out at the vineyard, these type of decisions are getting made where the Clintons and the Obamas were vacationing at the time. They were on vacation when Scalia was down south, and I even made the point back at the time. I said, I bet you they made a decision. You can go back to this. I think 2 days after Scalia was found dead, I started making the point, they're all on vacation in the vineyards. Wonder what decisions got made up there. And here he is talking about, I didn't think wet work meant pool parties at the vineyard, Podesta says in an email marked the 9th under the subject line, thanks. I'm all in, the lobbyist and Hillary delegate Steve Elmendorf replies. Sounds like it'll be a bad night. We all need to buckle up and double down. I'm all in. So either, hey, we're running some serious ops here. What are people doing having parties over there? Or, wow, didn't know those kind of decisions were coming down when they're out there having pool parties. Or maybe they were just talking about wet work and Podesta just wanted to sound cool and talk about, killing people, but he's not really involved in that. It's kind of like in The Godfather, the first one, when the wife of Michael says, oh, come on. Your dad kills people, but presidents don't have people killed and government doesn't. He says, Kay, who's being naive now? The one man standing against them stealing an election dies. They wouldn't do that. They'd only kill 200,000 Christians for fun in Syria. They'd only drone innocent people all over the world to stir the Muslims up. They'd only wage war against our families and our Bill of Rights and Constitution and our prosperity to have us be dumbed down and poor, as WikiLeaks says. No, I don't think wet work means that at all. Then they had the Washington Post come out a month later and say, yeah, he died in a secret society ritual. They threw that in on top. And a pillow was found on his face. It was announced instantly, no autopsy. Within minutes of them saying he died, they wouldn't say where the body was, out in the middle of nowhere in South Texas. Out in the middle of nowhere. There was two messages. Messages to people that are informed, you shut up and stand down and you're dead, including the rest of the Supreme Court. And it was a message to the rest of the dumb dodo birds out there that don't know which end it's up. Absolutely, we don't do autopsies now, and pillows are found on your little face. And all out in the hallways, they have devil masks by the hundreds. We have the video package, guys. When I get to this, I wanted to roll some of that. We talked about it because new viewers will be watching saying, oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah, we were there. We were there 2 days after he was dead with them threatening us to get out. We were there with the guy that got a special medal that runs it from Obama that no one else has gotten, personally awarded to him on national TV, who's involved in black ops from Vietnam to today. Oh, the ranch is a very nice group of people. Nice little command base right by the Mexican border. with sculptures of demons eating children in the main foyer. But everything is awesome when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when you're part of a dream. Dream that you're part of the establishment. Everything's okay. By the way, we're ending it when these sell out, which is going to be in the next 20 days or so, 24 days out from the election. Hillary for President shirts are historic. I could keep them going forever, but this is the third round of limited edition. It's over. Also, we're almost sold out of the Gadsden style Lock Her Up shirt made in America. That's available at InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com for the nutraceuticals. We have our new Biome Defense with 25 billion live and active cultures and 23 different probiotics. That's the half-price version. Or the 50 billion live active cultures. The Rolls-Royce of next-level probiotic. Held in our cold room, made with the top scientists, 7 years of research. Total game changer. And we also have the InfoWars Solar Base Station. We're stopping this special this weekend, 33% off that amazing system at InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Bottom line, shop with the good guys. You're helping fund the tip of the spear. We'll be right back. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
WikiLeaks bombshell reveals what InfoWars has been saying all along. The government of Saudi Arabia is arming and funding ISIS. And this time, it's not Alex Jones who is blowing the whistle. It's Hillary Clinton. Well, sort of. The newly released documents include an email from then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton to John Podesta, who is now her campaign chairman. And Hillary says the governments of Qatar and Saudi Arabia are providing clandestine financial and logistics support to ISIS. But wait a minute, if those governments support terrorists, then why would Hillary Clinton accept money from them? Well, they don't call her Crooked Hillary for nothing. So far, Saudi Arabia has funded 20% of Hillary's presidential campaign. And they also supported the 9/11 hijackers. Yeah, nice guys. You can learn more right now at Infowars.com.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Another time in the age of wonder. Another world. Another time. His land was green and good.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the Resistance. Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Trump, of course, came out 2 days ago and said that the election is about global government, the end of U.S. sovereignty. That's exactly what it is. He says the mainstream media are agents of globalism. I'm looking at some of the headlines on Drudge Report. There's Carlos Slim meeting at the Clinton Foundation. Slim behind the slime. That's the New York Times and others running around that he owns. The Arab/owner of Mexico, I guess, Obama phone baron. He gets the money for the Obama phones taxpayers pay for. You gotta love it. That way they can keep track of their voters. Donald Trump doesn't like Mexicans now. Oh my gosh, he doesn't like Carlos Slim, this foreigner running the New York Times, with the New York Times 24/7 claiming that, Trump's groping all these women that just now magically appeared. This is totally and completely manufactured. Where do you think all of this is going? Roger Stone going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Then when he leaves, I'm going to open the phones up specifically. How do we stop election fraud 2016? Well, we may not be able to stop it, but we're going to have to start making the case that Trump's really ahead. And we know they're already involved with people voting illegally over and over and over and over again inside places like New York City and, of course, major cities also in Florida and Ohio, Pennsylvania. This is going on big time. I mean, we sent people inside the head Cleveland office, Millie Weaver and our reporters, and as undercover, journalists, and the Democrats were like, we don't know anybody voting for her. We can't find anybody to support her. We can't get any volunteers. No one will give money except big corporations. I mean, they sound like they're Trump supporters when she's talking to the head in the city, because it doesn't exist. The crowds don't exist. There's new Google algorithms out showing 2,500 times more searches for the WikiLeaks leaks day to day than there are for all this Trump made-up garbage. The people aren't interested. They've rejected it, but they know that you're an individual alone, so you don't have a big picture awareness generally. So they want to make you feel like you're alone and believe the con game, that only the weakest-minded people believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the incredibly rare Drudge Siren. Drudge Siren. Obama claimed executive privilege in Hillary mess. Emails. Even that was secret. See, now claiming executive privilege. That's like taking the fourth. Even claiming executive privilege is now secret. That's how secretive the media is and how controlled. Podesta asked Clinton lawyer, think we should hold emails to and from Obama? Oh, that's CNS News. And then March 4th, 2015 email to Hillary Clinton's lawyer, Cheryl Mills Clinton, eventual campaign chairman John Podesta, who likes to talk about wet work a few days before Scalia dies. John Podesta asked if they should withhold email exchanges between Clinton and President Obama that were sent over Clinton's private server. The day before Podesta sent his email to Mills, the House Benghazi Committee privately told Clinton to preserve and hand over the emails, which were destroyed. The FBI report on Clinton emails notes on page 18, on March 3rd, 2015, the United States House Select Committee on Benghazi provided a letter to the law firm of Williams and Connolly, where the FBI director used to work, requesting the preservation and production of all the documents and media related to the email addresses. Keep scrolling down. The email from Podesta to Mills, titled Special Category Reads, think we should hold emails to and from POTUS, President of the United Treason. That's the heart of the executive privilege. We could get them to ask for that. They may not care, but seems they will. Mills did not respond to email. The Clinton-Obama emails were turned over to the State Department, were later announced would not release them. They erased a bunch too. It came out. And of course, no need to declare the executive privilege because you just simply deep-sixed them. We're going to come back with the rest of this article. Straight ahead, I'm Alex Jones.
Is this not becoming a third world nation? Of terror? Check yes. Riots? Check Black Lives Matter. Mobs? Check Black Lives Matter. Chaos? Check Barack Obama. Terror, riots, mobs, and chaos. This is a novelty in American history. I haven't seen anything like this historically since the 60s. And before that, when was the last time you've seen America like this? And the beauty of all of this, Alex, is how he's gotten away with it, because you've got to give him credit. Barry Obama is the slickest salesman of communism the world has ever discovered. No screaming, no yelling, no threats, just a silk smooth, good-looking, nice guy with a lovely wife and children selling the most evil poison the world has ever been asked to ingest. And look how far he's gotten. And every time he gets away with another outrage against this nation, he raises the stakes like a junkie. He needs a higher dose of insult in order to maintain the high. She says America wants change. From what? From the same policies she's going to continue? She's suddenly not a progressive lunatic? Wait a minute. She's going to change Obama's policies in which way? Make them worse? How she can't go the other way, and then she'd be Donald Trump. So it means she's going to make it even worse than him. That's if she remembers what she's supposed to do, and that's doubtful, as you well know, because she doesn't know how many times she fainted. There was a UAC in the 1950s, and it's a dirty word of the most dirty of words, the House of Un-American Activities Committee, which was run by one of the great American patriots, Senator McCarthy. He has been completely decimated by the left. McCarthy was a tail gunner in World War II, one of the most dangerous positions you could ever have in an airplane. Right? Belly gunner, B-24.
Easiest target was the tail. That's what they attacked.
Listen what the left did to him. They mocked him and called him Tail Gunner Joe. In other words, they took his heroism and tried to turn it into a mockery. That was in the 50s, Alex, to show you who they were already, the communists. So what was McCarthy saying, this great war hero? He was saying that Hollywood had been infiltrated by communists. The journalists had been infiltrated by communists. Academia had been infiltrated by communists. And the government itself. Well, what happened was they had the hearings, they ruined him, they destroyed the man. And then what happened in the 1990s, I'm sure you remember the book, the Venona Papers came out. It was a Soviet-Russian publication.
Turned out it was all true. The Russian documents came out, and it was worse than what McCarthy was saying.
Worse. It confirmed who in Hollywood, who in academia, who in government was in fact an operative of the Soviet Union. So there were subversives. UAC was exactly on target. I say the only way we could save this nation is not talking about it, but by rooting out the subversives in the United States of America.
It's Friday, October 14th, 2016. We are now only 24 short days out from the November 8th election. It's time to kick the resistance into high gear. Alan Scrolkin, the head of New York elections, was caught on tape at a Christmas party last year. It was released, obviously, earlier this week on Monday, admitting to Project Veritas that indeed the Democratic Party and candidates were already in elections then and in the future, busing people around to vote illegally because no IDs were being shown and that they would vote over and over again. Now, we know this. We know it's already started to happen again. But the fact is, the New York Times has come out and said that Donald Trump slipping in polls warns of stolen election. No, Donald Trump warned of it when he was ahead 10, 15 points a few months ago. And the numbers have been all over the map. And then Obama said there was no such thing. And then they came out and said we're federalizing it to keep it safe from Trump, his dirty tricksters, and the evil Ruskies that are hiding under the table. So they're the ones that are discredited. That big New York Times article on me yesterday saying I'm crazy because I believe in election fraud and that they want our guns. Well, the new WikiLeaks shows Hillary Clinton plans to use executive orders to ban all semi-autos. It's a fact. We're right, you're wrong, you're lying to your readers. And now we know it is the Mexican kingpin, Carlos Slim, that owns the New York Times, that is directing all of this against Trump, calling up every pageant contestant he's ever had, trying to get him to say things. And they also want to go after the free press. She says she wants to go after the alt-right. It has no right to exist. They want to bring back the fairness doctrine, and then they go after a journalist. That's what he's been doing the last 15 years, is writing books and articles. Roger Stone and Podesta has, quote, implicated Trump advisor Roger Stone over WikiLeaks email release. That's preposterous. But it's acting like it's bad as a journalist if you try to talk to Julian Assange. He's gone on everything from NPR to the New York Times to CNN to Sean Hannity. I mean, it's crazy. But Stone obviously has been trying to find out when it's coming out, but he's told me privately, he said on air, and it's the truth, that he had no idea of the fact that Assange has said it would be damning and get her indicted, and now we're seeing it is, but it changes the subject. Who cares how it comes out as long as it's authentic? But then Podesta is in another chilling email that just came out, talking about wet work, what is it, 2 days before Scalia is found dead. And his counterpart is, we got to batten down the hatches and get ready. This is going to get rough. This is a war, folks. I'm sure when he talks about wet work, he means maybe working at a zoo with seals or something, or maybe power washing, the sides of buildings. I'm sure there's no such thing when he's found with a pillow over his head and no autopsy. It was basically a message that he sleeps with the fishes. In my humble view, this should be investigated because we know the Clintons' long trail and their minions of death, the wars, the illegal wars. Why not give her another peace prize like they gave Obama? But first, this clip, because I want to get into this first with Roger Stone and then into how he's being attacked, but it all ties together as an attack on the press, with the head of New York elections, who I just mentioned, admitting that they're bussing people around. There it is, election official caught on video blasting de Blasio's ID program. And he's a Democrat. He admits it's wrong. People can vote over and over and over again, but only if they're Democrats. Here it is.
I think there's a lot of voter fraud. Like I say, people don't realize certain neighborhoods in particular, they bus people around to vote.
They do what?
They bus them around. They put them in a bus and they move from the poll site to poll site.
York elections?
Oh, like minority neighborhoods, like black neighborhoods and Hispanic neighborhoods.
Chinese too.
Why do they do that? Just to get like more votes for Democrats, or?
Photos themselves. They're all running for office.
Oh yeah, for like their candidates for when they're.
For the assembly, for whatever. They get buses, they move people around.
Well, New York doesn't have voters.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. He goes on to say it's wrong to his credit. Roger Stone joins us to break all this down. Hillary played the clip earlier, admits that they are really worried about people getting out to vote, that she internally thinks she's in trouble, Roger. And then I also want to go into Jill Stein saying basically vote Donald Trump because Hillary is more likely to start a nuclear war, and she's dead on. I mean, this is an amazing time to be alive, my friend.
Yes, indeed, Alex. I played that clip on the Stone Cold Truth this morning. You have both Jill Stein and Cindy Sheehan. You remember her, who camped out outside George W.'s ranch to protest the war in Iraq, now both saying that Donald Trump is less dangerous to world peace than Hillary Clinton. Meanwhile, in Syria, we're hurtling towards war. Barack Obama says he'll make decisions at the end of next week on his military options. In a situation in which nobody involved is our friend. It's really extraordinary. But the last 24 hours have been turned upside down because first John Podesta and then last night Robbie Mook of the Clinton campaign both asserted that I knew about the WikiLeaks hacking of John Podesta before the fact. Just to be very clear for everybody, that is categorically false. And it's adding 2 and 2 and coming up with 6. The reason they say this is because in August, in 2 different tweets, I predicted that that Podesta's business dealings would become problematic. I was a little more oblique. I said, Podesta's time in the barrel will come. That wasn't based on anything I learned from Julian Assange or WikiLeaks. It was based on my own research. But it's also been, he was involved in $35 million deals with the Ruskies for uranium. I mean, he was the go-between man with the Don Hillary. I mean... Well, now don't confuse him with his criminal brother, Tony Podesta, who was a consultant to that...
No, I'm not confusing him. I know he's the main one, but he's been involved. He's been involved with Hillary.
Definitely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, deeply. Bottom line of this: he's been laundering Russian money for the Clinton Foundation. He's been laundering Russian money for the purposes of purchasing U.S. military technology. I have a piece up now at Stone Cold Truth that documents all of this. That is what I was referring to. This piece has taken me some time because some of the original documents were in both German and Russian. It took some time to translate them. But,
and also, you've had your computers hacked repeatedly and everything erased. They're very concerned.
Yeah, no, look, this is deflection. In other words, how do we get people to ignore the substance of the emails? Well, blame the Republicans for hacking. This is part and parcel of the same phony argument that Donald Trump and Alex Jones and Roger Stone and Milo and the rest of these deplorables, we all work for the Russians. When in fact it's Hillary who's in bed with the Russians. It's Hillary.
I was about to say, I wish this check would arrive at some point.
Yeah, exactly. No, so it's the politics of personal destruction, and I would have to say, of the networks, only NBC Nightly News came and filmed my response, which they ran in the nightly news. From CNN and Fox, crickets.
And again, for folks that don't understand the history of journalism or being in a free country, anytime you get charged with some incredible thing, you get a response back, even if you're an axe murderer. Now there's no proof. They just hang you out to dry on every major TV channel in the country and then don't let you respond. That is fascism.
Yeah, and now, to the credit of the print media, I responded to the Washington Post, the New York Times, and many, many others. But the electronic thing is shocking. I've just never seen that. I mean, I understand I'm banned, but last week John King attacked me on CNN. This week I've got Podesta attacking me. Simple fairness journalistic ethics require offering me an opportunity to respond.
Well, as you know, and I played the clip last hour, Trump said all journalistic integrity is basically gone by the establishment media, and they're basically pushing world government and globalism. Let me ask you this now. Watching how they're behaving, what's going on, they seem to be getting more desperate. I know Trump, according to my own research, is ahead in a lot of the battleground states. It appears they're preparing to sell the idea of election fraud. Correct me if I'm wrong. What do we do to counter that, and then what do we do once they actually steal it?
Well, I think you and I have both been out front on this in a way that drives the establishment politicians crazy, because they want us to believe our ballot is sacrosanct and that the system will have integrity. I take the view if these computerized machines can be easily hacked, they will be. But I'm less worried about the Russians hacking them and more worried about the democratic machine under Rahm Emanuel, in all honesty. They have more experience in election fraud. This is why I got involved with StopTheSteal.org. We are literally shortly, hours away from, I am told, posting our comprehensive exit poll plan, for which we have recruited